Hello everyone. Today I am going to teach the part 1 of Indian Constitution. It has 4 articles basically. Article 1 to 4. So the part 1 says the Union and its territory. We know that Indian Constitution has 12 schedules. In that first schedule contains the names of 28 states and 8 union territories. Name them in the comment section. And how do I make notes, short notes? I name all the states with their vehicle registration number, like Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh AR, Bihar BR, Karnataka KA, Kerala KL, Chhattisgarh, Chandigarh. So I will never get confused even after 10 years. Okay. This is part 1, the Union and its territories. Let us look at the first article. It says name and territory of the Union. The first clause is India, that is Bharat. Why do our country has 2 names? Because India is very diverse and it has a humongous history. So during Constituent Assembly debates, few accepted India should be the term, few accepted Bharat as the term. So to avoid the conflict, our experts made India, that is Bharat. We can use whatever we want. Shall be a union of states. We must note this, union of states. What is union of states? Only states. That is 28 states. It doesn't include UT. Why? Because UTs are directly controlled by central governments. So India, that is Bharat, shall be a union of states. I already said of second clause, names and names of the states are covered in Schedule 1. This is important. Clause 3. It defines the territory of India. What is territory of India? It includes 28 states plus 8 UTs and other territories as may be acquired. What are these other territories? See, according to international law, there are many ways of acquiring territories. There are like occupation, like if nobody owns some land, you can occupy it. Okay. Then conquest or subjugation. This is no more a legal, lawful occupation, acquiring process. It replaced the annexation actually. If we see Russia's annexation of Crimea. Okay. Then cession. It is basically through purchase or gifts or treaties or plebiscite, or else prescription or accretion. Accretion is basically if a new island is formed, then any nearby country can claim it. Okay, these are the various ways are there to acquire territories. I can say in cession there are many other types. Purchase. For this example, I can say US purchased Alaska from Russia. And India made many treaties with Bangladesh to settle boundary disputes and transferred some enclaves. We will discuss this later. So this is basically Article 1 of Indian Constitution. Article 2. This is very simple. Admission or establishment of new states. You must note in Constitution who has the power to do what. See, Article 2 mentions Parliament has the power to admit or establish new states. Okay, in the Constitution, the most confusing part is who does it, whether Parliament or state legislature or president or governor or union government. You must note these differences, right? Then if we see, India has acquired Goa, Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Sikkim and Pondicherry from foreign states. It is not, even though these were admitted into India, but it was not done through Article 2 route. They were admitted by Article 368. That is, they were admitted through Constitutional Amendment Acts. Only one conclave in India, only one province which was added into India through Article 2 was Chandarnagar of West Bengal. Okay. Then one more article was introduced, that is Article 2A through 35th CAA 1975, which made Sikkim as an associate state. Later, Sikkim became a full-fledged state into Indian territory. So, 36th Constitution Amendment Act repealed Article 2A. Article 2A is no more in the Constitution. Okay. Then there is a question. Can Parliament discriminate states? Yes. The answer is yes. Is it mentioned in Constitution? Yes. In Part 21 of Indian Constitution, it mentions special provisions with respect to states, which is Article 371, then Article 371A to J, which are for respectively I am saying Article 371 is for Maharashtra and Gujarat, A is for Nagaland, then B is for Assam, Manipur, C is for Manipur, D and E are for Andhra Pradesh, F for Sikkim, G for Mizoram, H for Arunachal Pradesh, I for Goa and J for Karnataka. You must remember all these states. And one more way by which Parliament can discriminate states is through Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. Scheduled areas and tribal areas within states. Schedule 6 is only for Assam, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram. Recently, Ladakh has been fighting to get a place in Schedule 6, right? Yes. Then we will go to most controversial article of Indian Constitution, which is centralizing tendency of Indian federalism. Why? We'll see. Article 3 says formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or names of existing states. Who has the power to do it? Parliament. Only Parliament. Okay. First clause says formation of new state by separation of territory from any state or by uniting two or more states or parts of states or by uniting any territory to a part of any state. It is very wide basically. Can you tell examples for this? We can say Telangana, which was created from Andhra Pradesh, out of Andhra Pradesh. Then new states like Chhattisgarh from Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand from Bihar, Uttarakhand from Uttar Pradesh, right? Clause B, increase the area of any state, which we might say for Kerala. During 1956, Travancore, Cochin and Malabar areas made Kerala to increase its size. Diminish the area, of course, then Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, right? These are the victims of diminishing the area. Alter the boundaries. Parliament interfered in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu boundary dispute. But Parliament is not getting involved in Karnataka Maharashtra border actually, which is highly controversial. Alter the name of any state. Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Uttarakhand, and Odisha changed their names. Can you tell me the previous names of these states? So, Parliament has huge powers with respect to Article 3. That's why we say India as indestructible union of destructible states. States has no right to secede. That's why India, that is Bharat, is a union of states, not a federation of states. Yes, India is a federal polity. Why? Why do we have states? Only for administrative convenience, not for any other reasons. Okay? And whereas we must know about our chaotic superpower, which is US. It is a result of agreement of states. States has right to secede, which is not possible until Trump remains in power. Then it is an indestructible union of indestructible states. USA cannot alter the boundaries of states like how Indian Parliament does. Okay. Then there is a provision in. I'll take this. There is a provision for Article 3. What it says, if either house of Parliament, that is Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, introduces any bill with respect to Article 3, that is the clauses from A to E. In these clauses, Parliament must introduce the bill with prior recommendation of President. This is Parliament and this is President. Okay. Since our Parliament is in triangular shape, I write Parliament like this, right? With prior recommendation of President. Then what does President do? President puts that bill in front of state legislature. But President or Parliament is not bound by the decisions of state legislature. Whatever the state legislature says, Parliament will do what it feels. Then there is an explanation for this Article 3. What does it mention? It is basically says the provision which prior recommendation of President is not needed for alteration of UTs. See, I will give you example. When Telangana was forming, the bill was introduced in bill was put in front of AP legislature. Okay. It was introduced prior President's recommendation in the Parliament. This happened in 2014. Whereas in 2020, Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli were merged into Daman and Diu. Right? This, because they were UTs, it didn't require President's prior recommendation and no need to consult the UTs. Okay. Then Article 4. Laws made under Article 2 and Article 3 will automatically lead to amendments in Schedule 1 and Schedule 4. Schedule 1, we obviously know, it contains the names of states. Schedule 4, allocation of seats to Rajya Sabha. Example, when Telangana formed, seats for AP reduced, Telangana got its seats in Rajya Sabha. Understood? Then it also, this is a clause 1, this is a clause 2, mentions whatever changes made to Article 2 and 3 are not considered as constitutional amendment acts. That is no need of Article 368. Okay, this is the Article 1, 2, 3, 4. Then one more major important thing happened is Berubari Union case. What happened was, Berubari was an enclave of West Bengal. India ceded Berubari Union to East Pakistan that time. Now, today it is called as Bangladesh. India ceded it to Bangla, but courts clarified India can't cede any territory under Article 3. So, India, what did India do? Introduced 9th CAA in 1955. In 1960 and transferred Berubari Union to Bangladesh. So, India's land boundary with Bangladesh is, India has longest land boundary with Bangladesh. How many kilometers? 4096 kilometers. Which states share the land boundary with Bangladesh? Mention that in comment section. So, this land boundary was demarcated by Radcliffe Award 1947. Later, Nehru-Noon Agreement and Land Boundary Agreement in 1974, 9th CAA in 1960 and 100th CAA in 2015. See, we have to know, in Berubari Union, Supreme Court clarified that India cannot cede its territory to any foreign territory. It needs Article 368. Then, in 1969, Supreme Court clarified that mere transfer or settlement of boundary dispute can be done through executive action. It don't need Article 368. Okay, but what happened in 100th CAA 2015? India transferred 111 enclaves to Bangladesh and Bangladesh transferred 51 enclaves to India. So this 100 CAA introduced Appendix 1, which mentions all these acquired and transferred territories. And we must note, revocation of special powers to JK Order 2019. It introduced Appendix 2 and 3 to Indian Constitution. So, I've provided the screenshots of my Constitution notes. You can check it how compressed notes I made, which will be helpful for revision. So, this is my class 1 part 1. Tomorrow we will learn about Schedule 1 how states formed, how was the political map during 1947, 1956 and 2026, why and when did new states born, and the current ongoing tensions. Okay, thank you.